differently today. Hello. I don't usually see my YouTube screen, and it occurred to me because it's usually behind my Zoom screen. Just make sure you can still hear me. But I'm not even sure if toggling back and forth between you guys will be good, but I may see the chat come up now. I made my window. Amazing what we can do with technology. So thank you everyone for being here. To set up today for today's, this half hour goes so quickly. Any position you'd like. If you want to stand on your head for the whole time, no. Probably kidding about that, but you could be sitting, you can be lying down. I suggest something that feels very easy and supportive, but whatever feels like right for you today. It'll be as usual, gentle practice and involve following our breathing. So again, thank you for being here today with us, and so glad, Lynette, you're joining us today. Nancy comes a little bit later. Patty will be here. Maybe Nina will join. Just grateful to all of you who join us. And I love seeing all the animals on the screen as well who are joining us. And now we begin. And now I've forgotten what I said before the recording or after. Any position. Yes, it was already mentioned. Position you choose. Maybe as you heard the tone of the bell, maybe some idea came to you, or word, or emotion, or feeling, sensory feeling. If that's so, and maybe it's just now and kind of retroactively as you ponder and feel the echo of that experience of hearing the bell. What's the resulting sense, story, idea? And just say that to yourself. If you're even comfortable to do it out loud, that would be just even under your breath. I know it's a little strange practice, but this naming, it is akin to what one meditation practice where you name whatever you say, a thought or image, but this is more specific. And I'll model what's on my end, what came to me right as I rang that first tone. The word delicious just flowered in me. And now it's something else, and it will change moment to moment. So for yourself, it could be a string of words. It could be as happened when I said delicious, I also had a gesture with it, a gesturing with my arms. It might include an expression in your face. This naming. And I believe, I don't know my Bible that well, but this might be in the Bible and other traditions. There is this idea of God or the Creator naming each thing. It's something we do very naturally, very quickly. We do it from different pieces of ourselves, from our physical feeling sense, our emotional feeling sense, from our historical stories. We do it from our logical brain. We do it from our community mindedness. And it's how we come to know ourselves and who we tell ourselves we are. and to be more accurate, more aware, to take that as we're sinking back in this practice, to be more aware of our awareness, that part of us that is unchanging, that is our unbounded, timeless, essential self. We get to see those pieces. In a way, they get less lonely. In a way, they get less negatively potent. If you're in a state that's very grips you, by kind of settling back into our more spaciousness, our spacious observation. We see that there's more of ourself. And so along that vein, now I'll shift gears a little bit into just feeling where we are, to just confirming I'm here. Maybe that little mantra works well for you, I'm here. But also listen with your skin, with your nervous system, with your bones, and feel the ground holding you. Feel the weight of yourself, perhaps more and more relaxing, even if you're upright, sitting upright, or if you're laying down. Sometimes it's thought of, yoga is thought of like different positions and movements we do where there is some effort involved, but there's a balance of that effort with relaxation. And in this practice, we look more and more to that ease, the letting go, the integration and harmony, the connection between the parts. So we feel our body, this one part, and we're feeling the ground, this other part, not of our body, but of our life, of ourself in a way. Just take in the sensations and the sensation of breathing is there. You might have tuned into it as well. And as you watch your breathing and continue to sense the physical parts of yourself, the head, shoulders, chest, arms, hands, belly, pelvis, going through kind of quickly, but you can linger longer and especially feel all those parts as you visit them, as you touch your attention to them, feel that they are sort of vibrating, they're alive, they're communicating to you. Your legs, your knees, calves, ankles, feet. And the breath moves these parts. The breath coming in from the outside, and then we release our out breath. And so in that, this connection that we always have, not only with our breath, but to the space around, the sounds. So at the same time, there are distinct things we can name: shoulder, bird, air conditioning. It's all one fabric, all one continuity, all one process with many sub-processes. And again, I invite a little bit of your delight to go to that sense, that essence that's seeing all this, that's holding all this, that spaciousness of our being. And again, I'll try to remember to remind us to feel motioning, kind of feeling back. Sometimes it can feel as if it's above you, that watching. It can feel that it's just a matrix that permeates everything. Apparently, I don't think we're going to have clear skies here to do it, but apparently tonight the moon, earth and sun are so aligned that it's making the moon extra dark. Some way it's a new moon, we won't see it, but the skies will be extra dark and the Milky Way should be incredibly visible. And here where I live, I was going to think of driving out a bit somewhere where there's less light, but I think it's going to be overcast. But all to say that when I think of that feel of the vibrance of that I feel in my arms and my belly as I breathe, as my body touches ground, that aliveness. And then when I said matrix, I was thinking of the way we see the Milky Way, that just constellation of infinite miles of space and light, and that we are part of that. And now coming back in to feel in the body the breath. So all that you can still hold, space around, ground, gravity, and breath now. You might even put your hand on your upper belly where the rib cage, the lower rib cage connects to the diaphragm muscle. And just lightly, in some way easily, perhaps touch there to sense the movement as you breathe, and that movement may be very slight. There's no need for the breath to be super deep. You might relax a little more around your eyes, around your neck and shoulders. And imagine again, we're going to revisit some of the imagery I've shared the last few weeks of imagining the breathing muscle that is kind of a dome here, again, anchored in an up and down way on its edges at the lower ribs. And that dome, as we breathe, might simulate the movement of a jellyfish, or even better, a manta ray, where there's even more undulations through its fins and whole body, whereas a jellyfish is more evenly rounded. And as you breathe in, when the breath comes to fill the lungs, that diaphragm, that's another word I'm looking for, presses downward. So it actually flattens more from its dome-likeness. It flattens, but again, it may not be in one smooth way. It could be kind of undulated here and there or rippled. And when you exhale, envision, feel that it domes back up, and it's kind of like comes up toward the walls of the rib cage, I imagine. And you can imagine it however it works for you. So breathing in, it flattens downward. Breathing out, it domes upward. I'm motioning with my hand. You could even do that with your hands. You can let your hands extend out, get more flat, fingers stretched, and then from the palm of your hand, kind of create a little dome. So you can have these additional manta rays. And then just leave that for a bit. Just let it go. Let go of the imagery. Open the aperture of your attention more generally. And again, back to that infinite awareness, watching always, never abandoning us, even as we go off on many tangents. Perhaps scan to see if there's any place that's holding tension that might be um, eligible for relaxation now. And then begin to feel, you don't need to bring your hand to your belly, but it can be there, or it can be on the side, hands. And begin to feel this diaphragm muscle again, fluidly undulating, flattening, or not exactly, but just maybe it's got some, again, some ripples as you breathe in and doming up, even toward the diaphragm, similar diaphragm in the throat, in the roof of the mouth, in the skull, top of the skull. And then as you breathe in again, it flattens down. There's a diaphragm at the pelvic floor. You might imagine little diaphragms in the arches of your feet. And that's a lot to take in, but a simpler way of including the whole body might be just focusing on that midsection diaphragm muscle, but kind of sensing that that movement is creating a ripple flow effect, a domino effect through the whole body, upward and downward, and side and front and back. So opening again, the aperture of attention to outward more, up and down, out, front, and back, relative to the body's positioning. Relaxed in the jaw, shoulders, back of the neck, belly. Just make it lighter, so instead of taking a pause, we will take another pause in a moment, but just make it so easy that it's effortless. You're just observing. There's nothing to do, just watch. You could even let the imagery go, but continue to feel this midsection moving. And of course, keep the imagery if that works well. And then when you're ready, add on the inhale, add the arms moving up. It can be up towards your head or up toward the ceiling if you're lying down, either way. Sweeping up. And as you exhale, bringing the arms down, and the doming comes up of the muscle, the diaphragm muscle. As the arms go up, the dome flattens down. As the arms come down, the dome comes up. So kind of like, almost like two opposing directions. And if you're finding that the way I'm suggesting doesn't match with the movements you're feeling, perhaps, I'm not sure, I've questioned this. Pretty much most of the teachers I've done this with are saying this is the movement of the diaphragm muscle. Breathe in, the diaphragm comes down. But it could be different for you. You actually could, I think, control or feel differently. That may be a bit confusing. But if you're finding that what I'm suggesting is not happening for you, don't worry about it. Just feel into that area, this middle part of the body, and the arms moving, and the whole of yourself now as you move your arms a couple more times. Next time your arms lower down and the dome internally comes up, just keep your arms still. Just pause. Sense what's here now, something different, something new, even if it's just a little teensy weensy bit different. Could be radically different though. And then, now only in imagination, The movement in the breathing area will be there, midsection, but don't move the arms, but just imagine that you lift your arms up as the diaphragm muscle comes down as you breathe in, and then the arms come down. Imagine as you breathe out and the dome comes up. Couple times, couple more times. Imagining, not doing. The breathing muscle is doing, the arms are still. And if the imagining is difficult, try not to worry about that. If you do worry, notice, but then give yourself a little pep talk of like, it's fine. Just the trying, just the beginning, the trying, the effort, the something new, this kind of effort, something new. How do I approach something new without berating myself, with just wonder and wonder as the mystery unfolds, the ability unfolds. All right, and now let your imagination of arm movement stop. Just come to stillness for a few minutes right where you are. No need to adjust anything. It'll be an in-place meditation. Stillness, silence, and just wide open, boundless awareness. Some part of your being may want to know, kind of like kids in the back seat on a trip, how much longer? I said a few minutes, but it'll be about 3 more minutes of silence, stillness. I am here. And now, as you are, you can just be where you are and hear these words from Mary Oliver. And I'm sharing this for a number of reasons, but one of them, my kind of theme today, is all the various parts of ourselves that are in community as we think of ourself, our me, aLex, or you, Steve, but also ourself is part of a community and part of our world. How I go to the woods. Ordinarily, I go to the woods alone, with not a single friend, for they are all smilers and talkers and therefore unsuitable. I don't really want to be witnessed talking to the catbirds or hugging the old black oak tree. I have my way of praying, as you no doubt have yours. Besides, when I am alone, I can become invisible. I can sit on the top of a dune as motionless as an uprise of weeds until the foxes run by unconcerned. I can hear the almost unbearable sound of the roses singing. If you have ever gone to the woods with me or come to practice with me, I must love you very much. So with that assistance from Ms. Oliver, we come to the end of our practice together, and you might choose to just stay where you are, and you can join us in closure by bowing, or just putting your hands on your heart as I once again ring the bell, or you can come up to sitting. Beginning, middle, and end. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. So cute. Bodhi is so attentive there, the dog. All right, I'm going to stop.
You.
Thank you. I'm going to stop the recordings for the YouTube. Goodbye, YouTubers. See you next week. And